So I guess I'm live. Good. So good morning, everyone. I know it's quite an early morning and it's quite unusual for us to have our stream so early. So good morning to those who will be able to watch the stream right now. Good afternoon, good evening, hello to those who will watch this stream later. Maybe today, maybe some other day. Well, I feel like I'm hosting some morning show, I don't know, rise and shine. And I'm very happy actually to announce that we are starting today a series of programs of streams, which is called Zoom the World. We're going to talk to different people from different countries, from different cities, from different parts of the world, mostly English-speaking countries, but who knows, maybe even more. Yes, we'll have different guests. And today, I'm happy to say that we are going to have a conversation with Дэниел. He's from Los Angeles, California, for now. But he used to live somewhere else, and you could ask him about that during our conversation. And well, today we're going to talk about Los Angeles, life there, yes, different peculiarities of life there, and about, well, a lot of things, connected to people's lives, free time, activities, food, music, whatever. And you're very welcome to ask questions. Yes, please. I'm waiting for your comments. I hope that we're going to have a nice and, good entertaining conversation. So Дэниел is waiting, yes, in the waiting room of the Zoom conference. So I'm going to let him in now. So let's start. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Very nice to see you. We actually, it's quite early here in Russia. I know that it's quite late in Los Angeles now. Yeah. Yes. So how late is it?
It's 11 p.m.
11 p.m. So it's 9 a.m. here. Yeah. So we live in different worlds.
Yes.
We are ahead.
Future ladies.
Yes, we are the people of the future. But still, we have some guests here. So people are watching us and they're saying good morning. They are ready.
All right.
Yeah. So meet Дэниел, actually a good friend of mine. We used to go to school together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago, but well, won't tell about that.
You haven't aged a bit.
Yes. Oh. So, hi, Dan, says Anne. Good morning, says Karina.
Good morning, girls.
Yeah, well, good. So we will have like the conversation, not only you and me, yes, but also some people joining. And guys, you're welcome to ask some questions, yes, and to comment while we're having our conversation. Okay. Yeah. So before we start, before I start interviewing you and asking you a lot of different questions, yes, we had a question to our viewers, to our community members, yes, here in VK group. And there was a question about a Hollywood sign. Let's start with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had some options about this Hollywood sign, and actually most of the people guessed how it looked like from the very beginning. And as well, we all now know it was Hollywood land. Yeah. So do you know why it looked like that?
Why it was Hollywood land?
Yeah.
Well, it started out as kind of a sign for a realtor company, a company that sells houses in the area. and this became like it became iconic. So they adopted it for the city Hollywood and just removed the land part of it.
Mm-hmm. So just some real estate company decided to put this advertising sign. Yes.
Yeah, I think they must have been called like Hollywood Land Real Estate
I
or
see.
something like that. Was their company name? So it was just like a huge billboard for them.
Yeah, well, quite expensive, yes, to have such
Well,
a
back in the
billboard.
day, not a lot of people were out here when they were around, so it probably wasn't that expensive to put up.
Mm-hmm, yes, that's right. And as far as I know, it well, the sign itself had lights. Yes, it was like lighted during the night and day, but after some time, just stopped.
Yeah, I
No.
imagine it was expensive to light up. That would be my guess. I don't know the history exactly of it, but I know, yeah, it once lit up, but it doesn't anymore. So I'm guessing it was just cost too much to keep it running.
Yeah, and as far as I have heard or I've read somewhere, I don't remember, they took off the lights and just sold them, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why not?
A little money for the city, sure.
Yeah, okay. So, but still, you have this line, yes, Hollywood.
Big
So,
sign. Yep, you can see it from
big sign.
miles away.
Yeah, but you can't get up on that, like you can go to that hill and see the sign like from very close distance, no?
You get pretty close
Pretty
still.
close.
I mean, you can't like get onto the sign. Like there was a time when people could climb onto the sign and stuff like that, and that was too dangerous, so they barricaded that off. But you can still do a hike that's pretty easy up the hill and get pretty close to it. It's like pretty big in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I have photos of me in front of it I can send you to share with your students if you like.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then you can also get over it, so you can get pretty close by going above it and looking down on it. So you can't really see the sign, but you can see like the top of it, and you get pretty close too.
Wow.
Take like to get around it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Well, one day when we all come to Los Angeles.
There you go. I'll take you on a tour.
Well, so yeah, well, we have some more people joining us.
Welcome.
Yes, Sveta is here. Yes, and is asking about the time. Yes, and it's 11 p.m. in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for being
Bedtime.
here. Yeah. Well, so we also had some other questions, and there was a question about a cocktail, a non-alcoholic cocktail. Do you know anything about that one? I sent it. Really?
Oh, did you? Non-alcoholic cocktail? Like what's popular here as a non-alcoholic cocktail?
No, there was some information in the internet about some popular cocktail in Los Angeles, and actually a famous cocktail in Los Angeles, and the one that's called how is it called? I forgot. Well, it's about the actress, which
Oh, Shirley Temple, right.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's delicious. I don't know if have you ever had a Shirley Temple? No.
Well, I have read about it. So, but when I read about this cocktail, it was like the first time I've ever heard about it. Actually.
You just take like a Sprite. You guys have Sprite over there, I assume. Sprite, like a lemon soda.
Uh-huh.
And you mix in like maraschino. You know what maraschino cherries are? They're like a very sweet cherry juice.
Uh-huh.
You just mix those two. So it's like a cherry Sprite, cherry lemon soda mixture.
Okay.
And it's named after Shirley Temple was an actress, a child actress back in the day. She was like a singing, dancing child actress, very cute little girl. Everyone loved her, and I don't know why the drink got named after her, but it did. Maybe
Why
that was
not?
her favorite drink. She was a kid. You go to bars and order that. I don't know. But.
Yeah, and the well, to finish with the questions that we asked people. So, how is Los Angeles connected with bunnies? Can you explain to us?
I'm not sure the exact connection, but there's a giant bunny museum in Los Angeles. I personally haven't been to it, but it's a little bit outside the city. But apparently it's huge and it has a lot of bunnies.
Have you been there?
No. I actually hadn't heard of it until, you brought it up. But,
Oh, really?
yeah. So it's
How
not
long
it's not a big thing, I guess. What?
I see. How long have you been living in Los Angeles for now?
About 7.5 years. I moved here in 2013.
And before that,
I was
just to tell
about
our viewers, yeah.
Sure, about 3 hours south in San Diego.
Mhm.
Another little beach city. Really nice.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you like Los Angeles?
I do for the most part. I mean, there's things that I don't like, but of all the places I've lived, this has been my favorite so far.
Okay. What are the best things about Los Angeles?
Best things, well, the weather, for one, is just amazing. It varies. The temperature probably varies between, probably coldest it gets is about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 12 degrees Celsius. And it goes up to, like, it never really gets super hot either. It goes up to like 90 degrees, which is like 32 or something degrees Celsius.
So they're
in the
very
summer.
comfortable temperature, right?
Yeah, it's always pretty comfortable. It's never too hot, never too cold. Always sunny, or mostly sunny, hardly rains. Sometimes during the winter it'll rain for a few weeks, but other than that, it's just beautiful weather. So that's number one, probably. Number two, there's just loads to do. There's always something going on. I mean, it's because it's a big entertainment place. It's where everyone comes to kind of make it big in movies and in making bands and stuff like that. There's always like up and coming people like working on their comedy material, like stand-up comedy, get free comedy shows for people, famous people, just testing out their material.
Wow.
So if they want to know like which jokes will get laughs before they go on like a big show or tour, they'll go to a club and perform to a small club for free. So I've seen like a lot of famous comedians like really close for no money. And obviously it's not their best material because they're still kind of working on it. But I mean, you see a famous comedian that you normally pay hundreds of dollars to see in a smaller venue for. So that's awesome about living here.
Wow.
The other thing that's great is it's a city, but it's a city kind of surrounded by nature. So it's not like a New York City feel where it's just all just urban and buildings. There's like a landscape with like mountains behind the city that you can hike all through. Like the Hollywood sign is obviously on like a hill mountain type scenario. So you can go hiking anytime you want. And then obviously there's the beach right there. So you can go to the beach anytime. I live about 5 miles, which is 8 kilometers from the beach. So it's
so just
easy,
kind
easy
of
to get
walking distance, yes.
It'd be a long walk. I wouldn't normally walk 5 miles, but
Really?
I could.
Lazy.
Yeah. I think maybe 2 miles might be my max for walking.
I see.
Theoretically, I could.
That's what I remember from the States when it was there. So that people do not like walking.
We're lazy. Yeah, we don't walk far.
Yeah, my host mother, when I lived there, so she used to drive to the school stadium and walk around the stadium. So I was like, come on, you can walk just around the house or somewhere.
Yeah.
Why go to the stadium for that?
That's
Okay.
American.
Anne is asking a question. So which celebrities have you met out there?
I haven't met a lot of celebrities. I've seen a couple here and there. The only celebrity I think I've actually met, I don't know if you guys have the show Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah, for sure.
The Indian guy. I met him and talked to him. He was dating a friend's friend at the time. I don't remember. I mean, you know the friend Jana Van Heerden. Remember her from high school?
Yeah,
maybe not.
yeah.
But a mutual friend we had used to live out here, and she had a friend who was dating him at the time. So, and he was actually a super nice guy, super down to earth, and actually had a conversation with him. That's probably the only celebrity I've actually spoken to. Every now and then you see some celebrities, like I saw Jennifer Gardner, if you know who that is. She was on the show Alias. She was also
I'm not really good with names. Celebrities.
She was married to Catholic.
Yeah.
So I've seen her. I had a meal right next to Aziz Ansari. He's a comedian. Again, Indian guy, funny guy. He's on Parks and Rec, if you've ever seen that show. I'm trying to think what else. Masters of None. It's another show on Netflix that he's on. Anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't seen a lot of like really big celebrities. I typically don't go to like the super trendy areas where you'd
Uh-huh.
see bigger celebrities. And I was actually surprised at how few celebrities you kind of see out in the wild. Like I was expecting when I moved here that I'd see celebrities all the time, and you just don't see them a lot. They, I guess, stay in their
They're
homes, kind of
hiding
private.
from
Yeah, they're
paparazzi,
hiding. Yeah, they don't want to be around us.
from the stalkers.
You don't see a lot of them, to be honest.
I
I even
see.
worked. I used to work on Disney studios, so doing Disney shows. So I'd see some people from the show Blackish every now and then.
Mhm.
They're not huge celebrities, um, but yeah, I didn't even see a lot of celebrities on when I worked on a studio a lot. So they hide well.
Great, great. So Anna's saying that Big Bang Theory is one of her favorite shows.
Oh, okay. Well, the actor on it is very nice. I forget his
Yeah.
name, but
So, and she says that LA sounds like my ideal home.
come on over. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, well, we'll just get our girls band and go to LA yes, and become
right.
really famous there.
I'm letting everyone know that you're coming, so you'll be famous by the time you get here.
Okay, great. So, yay. Julia has joined us. Hello, saying hello. Yes, hello,
Hi,
Julia.
Julia.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, talking about well, places, you've mentioned that you don't go like to too fancy places, yes. But anyway, where do usually people spend their free time? Like, where do they like to go, and what do they usually do besides going to shows, stand-ups, and something like that?
Sure. Hiking's big here, so a lot of people do hikes
Hikes, yeah.
to the hills and mountains. Everyone loves going to the beach. The beach is always crowded. They have in Santa Monica, which is in LA, they have like a pier with like a Ferris wheel and games and stuff you can play. So a lot of people congregate around there. Other than that, I mean, people play a lot of sports here because the weather's nice all year. You can play, like I personally play soccer and I play it all year long outside. So you never have to play indoors like in some areas. But there's always some kind of festival going on. There's a lot of like, because it's Hollywood and they have a lot of people who are experienced of like building like movie sets. Pop-ups. I don't know if you guys have pop-ups there, but pop-ups are big, where it's something that gets built like a fun kind of restaurant or some kind of themed built like store or something like that just comes up for like a month and then it's gone after a month. So they might replicate like if you have the show Friends, for example, there was like a Friends pop-up where they recreated the coffee coffee set.
Wow.
And then people could go have coffee and pretend like you're having coffee on the set of Friends.
Wow. So we don't have such thing here.
Pop-ups, yeah, they're big here where something gets created just for like a short period of time. They rent a building for like a month, build something really cool in it. Everyone goes, buys tickets to go, spends crazy amount of money to go, and then after a month it closes down and they tear it all down. So
wow.
yeah, it's
Sounds
big
really
here.
amazing. Yeah. So
yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
And Karina is asking, are people sporty in LA?
Are they what?
Are they sporty? Do they like sports?
Yeah, sports are big here. Actually, for professional sports, they're not huge. Even though we have a lot of professional sports teams now, except for basketball. We're really into basketball. The Lakers just won the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So people love the Lakers. To some extent, they love the Dodgers, baseball. Football hasn't really caught on huge, even though we have two teams now. But it's slowly building. Soccer is slowly building as well. We have like two professional soccer teams here. But in terms of being active, people are super sporty in the sense that it's a really active city. People like to stay fit and look good in LA. So everyone's always running or doing yoga or hiking, like I said, hiking or swimming or something like that. So,
but no walking, I remember.
What's that? No walking? Yeah.
Yeah, no walking. Running, hiking, swimming.
So they'll invent maybe a new way to walk and do it.
I see. Okay.
But traditional walking, they don't spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, and saying that, well, she's asking, is it true that California is the most liberal state? Could you say so?
I don't know if we're the most liberal. We are very liberal, especially since California is huge. So there's a diverse amount of people. LA in particular, Los Angeles in particular, is super liberal, which is, in my opinion, good. But there are parts that are more rural north that they're more conservative. And even near LA is another county next to Los Angeles County is Orange County, which is super conservative. So it's the other end of the spectrum. So it's weird having those two counties like next to each other, and one super liberal, one super conservative. But overall, I think California is a Democratic state overall, so they are more liberal. I don't think they're the most liberal. There's places like Vermont, which is super liberal. Oregon is super liberal. So I think there are states that are considered more liberal than us, but we're up there.
Getting there, yes. And talking about like, well, we've talked about sports, yes, we've talked about some like free time activities, but when people decide where to go, yes, and I don't know what concert to attend, so what is the most popular music now? Well, I understand that there are different people, different tastes, yes, and different types of music that people just are into, but all in all, what are the trends, musical trends there in LA or in the States in general?
I think what's becoming more popular recently is when a lot of different music genres get mixed together. So like hip hop artists are combining with like country singers to produce stuff. Yeah, so like an artist called Lil Nas last year produced a hit with a country singer, Billy Ray Cyrus, who's an old school country singer, Miley Cyrus's father, if you know who Miley Cyrus is. And they produced this hit that was just massive last year. So anytime like those genres kind of mix together to create kind of something new, that's been kind of a trend lately. The more they mix genres, more I think popular they've been lately. But hip hop's always been big, especially in LA. Hip hop and R&B, alternative rockish. It's called indie rock here, which is really big in LA, especially. Indie rock stands for like independent labels, which are like they're cooler because they're not mainstream yet. They're not huge yet.
Something special, right?
Yeah, something that you get to brag to your friends that you heard them first, that kind of thing. So that's kind of big. Electric dance music, we call it EDM here, is massive. That's like the rave DJs. That's your Kygos, if you've heard of Kygo or Calvin Harris or Alan Walker. Those are all those DJs, EDM. No, you don't have that in Russia.
No. Sorry.
That's super big there. Some artists that are huge are like Post Malone, who again kind of mixes genres. He's kind of R&B, a little bit of rap, even a little country-ish. Drake is big. The Weeknd, another guy who kind of mixes rap and R&B type thing. And then like in terms of rock, like bands like Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, it's quite popular here too.
Yeah, Cage the Elephant, those kind of bands are big over here.
Oh, I see. Personally, which one would you prefer to go to concerts or?
I gravitate more to the indie bands, the indie rock bands, some more of your Imagine Dragon type music. That's usually what I go for. But every now and then I like hip hop. Like one of my favorite hip hop artists, a guy named Childish Gambino. He's also an actor. Yeah, so I switch around a little bit.
Okay. Depends on your mood, I guess. Well, we've got some more questions. Sorry?
Saying, I typically stay away from kind of country and EDM music, but yeah, more hip hop and rock.
I see. Okay, some more questions coming up. So, what Anne is saying, I know Miley Cyrus, not in person, unfortunately. And she says she really likes Drake.
Okay.
Yes, Post Malone is very popular over here as well. And there is a question actually. What things don't you like about LA?
I think first and foremost, it's expensive to live here. So I think it's like the third or fourth most expensive city in the United States to live. So it's really hard to like save money and get ahead. Like I have a lot of friends making a lot less than me on the East Coast, and they're living a lot better. They own homes and stuff like that. And I live in a little apartment and stuff like that. So in that sense, it's kind of hard. Other than that, it's really spread out. It's not like a New York City everything's condensed and easy to kind of get around. You have to have a car pretty much in here, and everyone has to drive everywhere to get everywhere. So there's a lot of traffic. So you might be driving only like 8 kilometers, and it'll take you like a half an hour to go that far. So that's kind of a bummer. There are parts that are kind of dirty. I mean, it's like any city, I guess, where there are parts that are just littered and kind of dirty. Other than that, and then most of the people are nice, but LA is one of those cities where everyone's trying to one up each other and drive the coolest car and have the coolest clothes. So there's a lot of kind of superficiality.
So they try to show off, like, I'm cool, yes.
Even if they might not be able to afford it, because I don't know, you guys have influencers, the term influencer, like Instagram influencer, yes. So they create like this lifestyle, and so even if they can't even afford these cars, they rent them for the day and just try to show off, and that's how they live. But so I don't really like that. But
sounds not really like good. Yeah.
And that's a small part of it. It's not all of it, but yeah, it is.
Yeah. How do you distinguish between people who really can afford this kind of lifestyle and those who are just pretending to?
I mean, I don't really try to distinguish. I just stay away from it in general.
Okay, from both.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell, because especially if you like see them out and about, they look rich. They could be rich, who knows? But a lot of it is.
Yeah, we do not count their money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and talking about showing off or just looking nice, so whatever it can imply for any person. So how do people dress? What are the trends? Like, I remember when I was in the States, every time I wore, I don't know, a skirt or a dress to school, some people ask me, why are you dressed up? Like, how do people dress now? Like, is it casual or more dressed up? Like, what kind?
LA is pretty casual, so like pretty much everyone just dressed in. A lot of people dress in like t-shirt and jeans. A lot of the places, like you can see a lot of like if you go to New York, you'll see a lot of people in suits and dresses and stuff like that. New York City, in LA, it's not like that at all. Everyone's kind of dressed. You see old people kind of dressed like teenagers almost. LA is one of those cities where people don't grow up like other cities. Like they're adults, but they want to stay children. So we have a lot of people dressing. It looks kind of funny sometimes. You see like older people dressing like they are still 20.
I see.
But some of the trends, like the trends coming back here, a lot of the style is kind of similar to back when you were in the States, back in the late 90s, mid 90s. Those kind of trends are coming back. Like in the 2000s, clothes got more tailored, more fitted. Now they're getting baggier again. A lot of baggy t-shirts, a lot of baggy sweatshirts, a lot of big clunky shoes, big clunky sneakers. Fanny packs are making a comeback. I don't know if you know what a fanny pack is. It's one of those packs that strap around your waist.
Yeah.
You carry stuff in. Those are becoming cool again. So yeah, a lot of the things that were cool in the 90s that became super uncool in the early 2000s are now making a comeback.
Goes in circles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, it's the same here. Yes, practically. Yes, I'm listening to you and understand. Like, we have the same trends here in Russia now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but they're comfy. Like all these clothes, they're comfortable, and you can eat a lot in them. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure.
Not to worry about.
Like, if you're a girl, I'm sure they're loving it. Yeah.
Yeah. And wearing sneakers instead of like high heels.
Mm-hmm.
That's really awesome. Anna's saying, I know it's super expensive to rent an apartment in New York, even if it's just a bed and a window. Is it the same in LA?
It's a little cheaper. So a place I would go for, typical 1-bedroom in LA. This is a bedroom with a separate bedroom. I'm not talking about a studio apartment, which just has a bed. A place that has actual bedroom, they typically go between $1,500 and $1,800. If you compare that to New York, in New York, you're probably spending about $2,300, I imagine, and that's a month for the similar apartment in New York. So New York's still more expensive than LA, but LA is getting up there.
I thought actually LA was more expensive than New York City.
No. New York's probably, actually San Francisco is probably the most expensive city in the States. New York or Washington, D.C. are kind of close around second, and then probably LA is about third.
Okay. Well, so not that bad then.
Yeah, if you compare it to those. If you compare it to every other city in the United States, though, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay, and there is another question. What about girls out there? Do you find them cute overall?
Yeah, they're cute. LA is cool because there's a lot of diversity. So you have a lot of different looking types of girls out and about. Again, you have a lot of influencer types who they might be the sweetest people on earth, but they just give off the vibe that they're not nice. I guess they're just concerned about money and wealth and stuff like that. So that's kind of off-putting in some sense. But there's also like it's a big place for creatives. So there's a lot of girls who are artists and actresses and stuff like that who are super creative girls, which I like those types. So there's a lot of those around too. So it's a good mix.
I see. Yeah. Well, and saying that 1,500, I'd like to sell my kidney to live there. I have to sell my kidney.
I have to. Yeah.
Well, it's possible to live with one kidney, so why not?
Yeah. Well, it's super common to live with roommates, even as you're older. Even like 40-year-olds, a lot of them have roommates just because it's.
So people share, the expenses.
Yeah. So in other parts, like if you were like a late 30-year-old, 40-year-old having roommates, it'd be considered weird. But in LA, it's pretty common.
It's fine, yeah. Well, okay. So we'll think about it. Yes, and we will definitely think about that. Yeah, she's saying yes. I'll just do it.
Yeah, get a roommate. It'll be more affordable. And you're looking at maybe $1,000 a month.
Yeah, why not? Well, and talking about coming back to our topic of fashion, yes. Well, as far as I've heard, there is a new trend with this cut pants. There is a cut, but not like the horizontal one, if I'm not mistaken, but a vertical one, just to have in your sweatpants. No,
I haven't seen it.
No.
Maybe I'm an old man, so I don't hang around the kids. So maybe it's cool with the younger crowd, but yeah, I haven't seen that look.
Yeah. Okay, and didn't expect San Francisco was more expensive than New York, though. Okay.
Well. Yeah, I think San Francisco is the most expensive because a lot of the tech companies, a lot of the Facebooks and stuff like that are up there.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone moves there and they make a lot of money doing these techie type jobs. So it became really expensive.
Yeah, and when you expect to earn a lot of money, you can pay a lot of money for your house, yes, or apartment or whatever. Yes, I see. Well, how about free time? Yeah, we've talked about that. Music, we've talked about that. Well, fashion, we have also touched upon that topic. What about places to go in LA? So if I am a tourist, yes, and I come to Los Angeles or some nearby cities, suburbs. So I know like the most popular places to go to, but what are like maybe some special places that any tourist should really visit, and it will just amaze them?
Amaze them. So you probably want to catch a concert at the Hollywood Bowl. It's like this big outdoor amphitheater. So you watch concerts outside. You have like a big backdrop of mountains in the background. So it's a really scenic place to just catch a concert. So I'd recommend doing that. There's a road called Mulholland Drive. Drive up and it has just amazing, you can see like the whole city. They have like these overlooks. They're called overlooks, where you can just pull off and park and just see beautiful views of the city. Plus a lot of celebrities live up there, so you can look at all the celebrity houses on Mulholland Drive. So I'd recommend doing that. There's a really fun art museum called The Broad It's spelled like Broad, B-R-O-A-D. It's kind of a small museum, but it has very modern art. So it has like your Andy Warhol, if you've heard of them.
Yes,
Kuntz.
yes.
It's a very weird kind of wacky art, rather than, there's also like the Getty Museum and stuff like that has like your more traditional art that you'd find at like the Louvre or something like that. But the Broad I'd recommend just because it's really fun, kind of LA type art. What else? You probably want to take a drive through Malibu just because it's really pretty. It's naturey. Again, you have a lot of big celebrity mansions up there in Malibu. It's kind of a ritzy place. Other than that, I can't really think of a lot of like super non-tourist, because a lot of the places that I would recommend, like everyone's heard of, like the Griffith Observatory, stuff like that. So a lot of the places that are really spectacular to see have become mainstream just because everyone comes and sees them. So there's a lot less like hidden gems, I guess.
Yeah, well, and again, is asking, how do you feel about modern art? So you've mentioned this museum. So how do you feel yourself about modern art?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. Like there are some pieces like I don't get. Like they'll be like a crumpled up piece of paper on the floor and they'll call it art. Like that, I just kind of roll my eyes at. But then there are some pieces that are just crazy. Yeah, just the creativity. Like I wouldn't think to like make that with that material kind of thing. So there's a good mix in the Broad.
Yeah, here in St. Petersburg, we've got this museum of modern art too. It's called Erarta, and people go there. Well, they have like the usual exhibition, yes, and you can see all the pictures and some other kind of art all the time. But there are also some exhibitions that come and go, yes, and some of them are, yeah, you can just roll your eyes and like, okay, what's that about? Yes, and some of them are so amazing, so great. You just keep going around these pieces of art and like, how did the person actually think of it? Well, what kind of imagination he or she has, yeah, for that.
Yeah. And LA is cool because it has a lot of art museums. So on top of the Broad, there's the Getty, which even if you're not into like that kind of Renaissance type art or classical art, it's on this overlook mountain that you can just see the whole city. It has beautiful gardens. So it's worth going up there just for seeing the building and seeing the architecture and seeing the area, and it's free. There's LACMA, Los Angeles County Museum of Art or something like that, which is a big art museum. And we also have a Museum of Modern Art, MoMA as well. So there's a lot of different art museums. And then there's a lot of little pop-up art exhibits because LA is like a big kind of artist city. So a lot of people come to make it
I guess
as an
a lot
artist.
of people, yes, come and just to express themselves, yes, to find their vibe there. And like, and see if this vibe will take them somewhere and help them turn some money, yes, something like that. Yeah, make a fortune with it.
That's the dream.
I've heard about this Great Wall. The one of the longest graffiti in the world that is located in Los Angeles. So have you seen it?
I have not, no.
No, really?
No.
You should go and see it. Come on.
I see walls with graffiti all the time, and a lot of it's really impressive, but I haven't seen like one wall that is just huge. I haven't heard of it even.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact like meter distance, yes, that it has, but well, it said that it was one of the longest graffiti in the world, and it was it is like dedicated to the history of Los Angeles, and the graffiti itself is made by women and some minorities, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I'll have to look into it. Yeah, I haven't personally seen it or heard of it, but I mean, that's the thing about LA. There's so much to do, so much to see. Like, yeah, sometimes you just don't hear about it until you talk to someone who's seen it and they go, oh, you got to check it out. So.
Yeah, I should.
All right, I will. I'll report back.
Yeah,
We'll do a follow-up.
so we're here in Gatineau, yes, and we are telling you where to go in Los Angeles.
All right.
How
Be my
great
tour
is
guides.
that?
Be my tour guides.
Yeah. So I'll see what else I can find for you and
Yeah.
recommend you.
That's good.
Yes. Well, I wish I could do graffiti, Suzanne.
As do I.
Yeah. Well, Sveta is asking, what do you have to do to become successful in LA?
Ooh, I think if there's a formula to that, then a lot of people would make it. There's a lot of people that come here and very few of them like make it big. So I think perseverance is really the key. Like you'll see a lot of people just going to auditions if you're talking about being an actor. And to support themselves, they might have to work 2 or 3 jobs, drive Uber, work at a restaurant, and just grind it out until they get a lucky break.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the key. In terms of business, if you want to be successful, get into the entertainment industry. Even as a non-actor, that's where most of the money is at. So if you work your way up the ranks in like a movie studio, that's where you make the real big money. Other than that, yeah, just like any other city, just kind of grinding it out and trying to make ends meet until you get lucky.
Yeah. So I guess it's all about not only just talent, but also about luck. Yeah. So
yeah, luck and who you know. Like LA's a big networking city, so it's really important to go out and meet people who can help your career. Because even like less talented people might make it just by who they know.
Just to have friends in high places, right?
Exactly.
Yes, know how to get to them, well, talk to them. Meet them, I see. Yeah, so yeah, I quite agree. I guess it's not only about Los Angeles, it's about any big city where people come and, well, looking for something, yes, looking for becoming somebody or something. Yeah, so talent, luck, and the ability to get there no matter what. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Okay, and well, talking about all different kinds of entertainment. Yes, what else can we discuss? We can discuss food. Yes,
Sure.
what are the most popular restaurants, or what is the most popular cuisine now in the States or in Los Angeles in California?
So if you want to see celebrities, you'll go to a place called the Ivy. That's where a lot of them hang out. That's like known for if you want to see like celebrity sightings, people a lot of celebrities go there for lunch. I've never been, but that's what I hear. That's the place to go. If you know someone famous-ish or rich, you might be able to go to the Soho House. They have one in New York. They have one in LA. That's another place where celebrities go, but you have to have a membership or know someone who's a member there. And to be a member there, you have to
So you can just go march in this place and say, well, I want to have lunch.
Yeah. You can't go into the Soho House for lunch unless you're a member or know a member or something like that. The Ivy, you can, anyone can go to the Ivy. If you like sushi, the Nobu, it's called. It's in Malibu. It's really expensive, but really delicious sushi. Some of the best sushi in the city. So those are like the 3 really big, fancy places. Other than that, there's like little pop-ups everywhere, little restaurants everywhere. Like I live in a place called Culver City, which has a little community that has a lot of little American fusion kind of cuisines. Asian food is really big here. So sushi is really big. Ramen. You guys have ramen there. Ramen's really big. Korean barbecue. There's a section of town, Koreatown, that has Korean barbecue, which is just, they serve you endless amount of meat that you kind of grill up at the table. It's delicious. So Korean barbecue is really big here. In
you know, I haven't had breakfast yet, so yeah, I'm feeling more and more hungry.
Other than that, for cheap eating, a place called In-N-Out Burger is famous. People from all over the states come to LA and we have to go to In-N-Out Burger. It's basically like kind of like McDonald's, like a fast food type situation, but it's a little bit better. It's a lot better than McDonald's, but it's better than McDonald's. But it's only really, it used to only be in LA. So it got famous in LA and people couldn't get anywhere else. So they'd come to LA and eat it In-N-Out. Now it's kind of expanded a little bit throughout the country, but still LA is known for In-N-Out.
I see. Yes. And personally, you, what's your favorite food? Your favorite?
I like barbecue, like barbecue ribs and stuff like that, which LA is not known for. There's a few spots that are decent, but there are definitely better places in the country to go for barbecue.
Can you make like barbecue really well?
Personally,
Yeah.
Not particularly.
No?
I mean, I can make it and it's edible, but I'm not, I'd much rather go to a restaurant and have them make it for me because they'll do a much better job.
Okay, I see. But still, do people out there cook at home or do they prefer to go out for a meal generally?
I prefer to cook at home just because, again, it's expensive in LA. Going out for a meal is also expensive. So I like to save money and cook at home. But LA is a big going out and eating type city. So one of the things people do a lot is brunch is really big here. It's not breakfast, it's not lunch, it's called brunch. It's basically an excuse to drink during the day. People get together and they have mimosas, which is orange juice and champagne, and throw those back while they're eating waffles and chicken and all kind like mixture between lunch and breakfast foods. So that's really big here. But yeah, most people aren't really cooks. And a lot of places, they don't have full kitchens because it's expensive. They have what are called bachelor apartments, which don't have full kitchens. So if you want to save money on rent, you get a place without a full kitchen and they just eat out all the time.
Okay, yes, but the money you save renting this kind of apartment, you'll spend for just on
you want to spending out.
Yeah, some place where you're going to eat. Yes, that's right. There is a comment. I know in New York, meat over rice is super popular. Is it popular in Los Angeles too?
Again, I mean, Asian food, which is a lot of meat over rice, is super popular here. I think in New York, it's more Mediterranean is more popular, like kebabs over rice. Here we have a little bit of that, but it's not as big. It's more Asian food over rice.
I see. Well, there is a question about stereotypes. So, as you used to live in New York, right, in New York State, and then you moved to California. Karina is asking, are there any stereotypes about Los Angeles in the USA? And personally, for you, when you lived in New York State, yes. And then came to California, were any of the stereotypes true? Like, did they appear to be truthful?
Yeah, I think the big stereotype about LA people is that they're superficial and all about appearance and looks, which, as I said, is pretty true in a lot of sense. I mean, LA is great because there's so much diversity. There are a lot of superficial type people, but there are a lot of normal people. And like I said, there's a lot of creative types and a lot of hippie-ish types. So there's just a lot of different groups of type of people, but the people that really stand out are the people who drive around in fancy cars and stuff like that. So you see more of them than you see of the other type of people. So I think if you're looking at the people as a whole, the stereotype probably doesn't hold up, but the people that are always out and about, who you always see and are always kind of the forefront of your mind, are those people who are out there to show off. And that's why I think this kind of stereotype is strong and why LA is known for it.
Okay, talking about stereotypes, actually, yes, that's a very interesting topic. What kinds of stereotypes do American people have about Russian people?
Oh,
what are the main stereotypes? Come on. Maybe not all of them are bad ones. Maybe there are some good ones.
No. I guess stereotype about Russian people is that they're very kind of straightforward and direct. Serious, I guess, is a stereotype about Russian people. So when you think Russian people, you think very serious, direct. They make a point. They don't smile a lot, which you've proven time and time again isn't true. But I think that's the overall general sense that Americans have about Russians, is that they're I guess intimidating a little bit. They're more like serious and.
Okay, we want something, we get it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, well, and it's saying, yes, I knew someone was going to ask about stereotypes about Russians. Well, that was me.
Put me on the spot. Jeez.
Yeah, well, Sveta started talking about that, so I just decided, why not? Why not ask this question? Yeah, because I remember when I was there and we went to different schools, and the students from these schools, they asked us some questions about, well, our countries where we came from, because they were like some students from some different countries. Yes. And I was asked about Russia, whether we still have communism here, whether we, I don't know, drink vodka all the time, and stuff like that. Yeah, so
Vodka's another stereotype. Yeah.
yeah, we have bears in the streets, and we wear ushankas and play balalaikas.
You don't? You tell me you don't?
Then we hope. Oh, I hope we're not scaring you right now.
Oh, you're getting there. It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here.
Okay. And do you find Russian language rough? Karina is asking.
Rough as in hard to learn, or?
Does it sound to you okay, or does it sound quite harsh and rough?
It does sound harsh. I think that probably is part of the stereotype of the serious and aggression type. For Russians, is just your language is very, yeah, it's just very sounding to us, I guess. Very straight and to the point, very succinct. Mm-hmm. Or something like French would be like fluid and blah, 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 blah. And then Russian's like, rah, 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 kind of. I don't want to offend.
No, not taken. Yeah, but you should just learn some phrases in Russian, and you'll see that it's not that like that rah 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 kind of language.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll send you some lessons. So
there you go.
Next time when we stream, we'll just check your homework.
And next time we can just do the stream in Russian. I can just.
Oh yes, why not? So great idea. Yeah, so vodka isn't really a stereotype. I never drink vodka. None of my friends do. Yeah, okay.
No. Fair enough.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, there was such a stereotype back then. Yes, maybe not anymore. See, so if you, for example, had a chance to choose any place, well, in the world, including the United States, any kind of state, yes, so Russia maybe, or any other country, would you change your place of living?
Oh, I'd live in Russia for sure. Trying to win back fans. Any place in the world. I mean, USA's home, so I'd probably stick here. Mm-hmm. If I didn't stick here, I'd move to maybe Bali or something tropical, or maybe Europe, just because it's like the United States, so I'd feel kind of at home there. Mm-hmm. But if I was to move anywhere else in the United States, I'd probably move back East Coast, but someplace warmer than New York. New York's very cold, and I've gotten acclimated to the climate here, so I'd move someplace in the South, which has its own problems, but the southeastern United States I'd probably move to. Yeah, well, and you have avocados. I remember that. Avocados. We do have avocados. I have one of my actually. Yeah, I wish we had them here too, but well, it's quite cold outside and gloomy today. So yes, no ocean for us. Missing out. Is it true that well, it's kind of like cold to swim in the ocean anytime, like during the year? Yes. So the Pacific Ocean, which is what the LA's on, California's on, is cold year round. Even in the summer, it's pretty cold. I mean, it's not like you're not going to get hypothermia swimming in it. It's not like Alaska cold or that kind of thing. But it is significantly colder than the Atlantic Ocean, which is on the East Coast. To the East Coast during the summer, the ocean's like bathwater. It's super warm, super nice. whereas you never really get that warm water here in California because there's currents that bring in cold water.
Yeah, I've read a blog of some Russian girl. She moved to California, and she was saying that, well, when she came there and she saw the ocean, and she was so excited, and she decided to go for a swim. So, and there were like quite many people on the beach, and they were looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, why are you going there? It's so cold. And she was this insane person.
What time of year was it? I mean, if it was the winter, I could see people looking at her strange. People
I don't know, but well, she said the water was like cold, but it was okay, and we like actually used to such kind of water, but the people were really like looking at her like she was insane.
I think she's exaggerating a little bit. It's pretty common. I mean, it's cold, but it's not unbearable.
Yeah, well, that's just what she said. Well, there's a question, a good question actually. Do American people read a lot overall?
Overall, I'd say no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it depends on where you go. I think in like New York City and stuff like that, I think people read a lot more than they do in LA. LA's, I don't think, a big reading place.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's maybe the different types of people. The people here, they want to be active. They want to be outdoors all the time. So they might bring a book outside, but they're more into kind of expressing themselves rather than getting into a book, I guess. Whereas in New York, it's more kind of yeah, it's hard to say. There's also more universities on the East Coast. Like New York will have dozens of universities there, whereas LA, we have a few, but it's not really like college like on the East Coast.
I got it, yeah.
So I think being further from universities, I think is part of the issue too. But
yeah, well, and probably when the weather is perfect all the time, you just want to go outside, go for a hike, yes, or just enjoy yourself on the beach. Yeah, so
we don't have a lot of rainy days, which would be perfect for reading a book or something like that. So yeah, I think the weather's probably has something to do with it.
Well, sounds really nice. Actually, people in Russia, they do read, but not that much nowadays, I think. Well, my personal point of view, people get really into like their devices, into their phones. Yeah, so checking Instagram, checking Facebook or Contacte, whatever it is. Yeah, so not a lot of readers nowadays, unfortunately, either. Yeah, well, but still a good thing, some time to do. Yeah, I sometimes like feel that I like reading. So, and every time I get a good book and an interesting book, well, that's such a relief and such a good thing to have. Yeah, well, yes, Anne says that Russian people definitely used to read more book back in the day. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, well, it depends on the generation, I guess, also. We like now to think fast, to get the information really fast, so quick and fast. No reading. Takes too much time. Yes, okay. Yes, it's about any country in the world. I agree, maybe. Well, so you're staying in the United States, not moving anywhere.
Probably not. Yeah,
see, but you should definitely come and visit Russia. So we are definitely going to give you a grand tour.
All right. Sign me up.
Yeah, well, hopefully just the borders will be opened sometime in the nearest future, but with all the restrictions about the COVID,
yeah,
well, seems like we are stuck. Yeah, but well, the good days will come and everything will be fine. No more viruses.
Hopefully soon.
Like that. Yes, technology is taking over the world. Yes, and yes, we'll give you a warm welcome.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yes. So, Thank you very much for your time. I know it's quite late now, and well, it's time to go to bed. Yes, I have work tomorrow, and I will start my working day.
All right, good luck.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys for your comments, for your questions. So it was quite exciting.
It's fun.
Yeah, I was very glad to see you, just like this, but not in person, but well, through this Zoom conference, and that's so also cool. Yeah. Yes, and I hope we didn't scare you off or something like that with our questions.
Nah, I don't scare easy, so you're fine.
Good, good. Thanks a lot, says Sveta.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Oh, you're welcome.
Good to meet you, Dan. Well,
Nice to
I
meet
hope
you.
it's not the last time we're having this conversation. So
Sure, whenever.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So goodbye.
Take care, guys.
You too. So, well, Dan has disconnected. Well, yes, thanks a lot for your comments, for questions. Yes, I really hope that it was a good talk. For me, it was. I was very glad to see my friend. So we haven't seen each other for ages, and there is a chance just to talk in Zoom. Yeah, a good chance. So yes, thank you, and thank you, Sveta. Thanks, big thanks to all of you. Yeah, and stay tuned for all this period of time, because we are going to have more conversations, more conferences with different parts of the world, with different cities, with different people, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a chance for all of us to find out something new about lives in different parts of our planet. So thanks, guys, for being with us. If you are watching this video after the live stream, yes, also really hope that you enjoyed it. And if you have more questions, you can just type them underneath this video, and we will try to answer all of them. Okay, so see you next time. Bye-bye. I'm trying to finish it, and that's it.